Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 13th of November. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Baby Bunting, Amcor, Aura Energy, Atomos and Beetaloo Energy. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So make sure you are getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like my personal help with your portfolio, please call me. And the advice is general only. So we've got a weekly chart here of Baby Bunting. As we can see, it had that big fall a few years ago, went sideways in a tightening range. And then ultimately it made a very clear break on big volume to the upside in August. So that was your buy signal. It's run hard. It's now consolidating. If we move to the daily, we could see that it's had that sharp move higher, but it bounced pretty strongly here on massive volume, sideways, breaking higher again. So look, it does look like it wants to head higher. Maybe it sort of stalls here at 320, but price action overall still looks positive. Amcor, if we have a look at the weekly chart, we could see for the past few years it's been trending lower. So still long-term downtrend. If I have a look at sort of shorter term here on the weekly chart, we could see this sort of bullish engulfing candle. So that's a potential reversal signal there, and then it's starting to follow through this week. So potentially reversing, but it might only lead to a short-term bounce. I think if you're comfortable that this longer term, if you want to be comfortable that this longer term downtrend is over, you need to give it much more time. We need to see higher highs and higher lows. Okay, Aura Energy, so we could see that it sort of by forming a low here, we've got this kind of cup and handle sort of formation, upside break, buy signal, had a bit of a run. We could see it's come back and it's retested the breakout, so it's bounced off that. If I have a look at it sort of shorter term, it's pretty volatile in the short term, but we could see good buying support here. So it might just need a bit more time to settle down. If volatility can contract a bit, then I think you'd be getting ready for the next move. But overall, it does look like it just wants to continue heading higher over time. AMS, so that's the weekly chart. It's obviously a massive decline from almost $1 to almost zero, so it seems to be forming a base, but I think that's just because it just can't go any lower unless it delists. So forming a base, starting to head higher here, a bit of volume, that's a bit of a positive, but it's coming up to some resistance, so it's probably a bit late to be chasing it. I think ideally you'd see it sort of hit resistance and then consolidate sideways, almost, if it could almost mirror what it did here, and then I think if it could break above that line, then I think you'll have a buy signal, but I couldn't be chasing it here. Okay, finally BTL. Generally been heading higher the last 2 years. A nice run here off the recent low, but it does look like that sort of short-term uptrend has been broken. If we move to the daily chart, we could see it a bit clearly, so it sort of undercut this low. That's the trend line. I mean, what it could do is try to back test this line, so it comes up underneath the back end of this line, and then if it fails, you'd be looking at a move lower, and if you could sort of picture it moving here and then not being able to head higher, then this could be a big head and shoulders top. But ultimately, just have to wait to see what it does. I think if it can get back above at least 32 cents, then the chart starts to look positive. At the moment, it's a bit of a wait and see. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next Thursday.